Hi, I'm Lachlan from Kashy, and today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the engine oil and oil filter on this little old Hyundai Elantra. Another very important part of properly looking after your car is making sure that you're not going to make a mess of everything around your car. So I've grabbed out this bit of cardboard to put underneath so that when I am draining the engine oil, there's no chance of it splashing anywhere that I don't want it to be. I'm also going to get all the parts ready for the oil change so that I don't have to go anywhere unexpectedly, just in case something disastrous happens. Especially on like breezy days like today, Erin. When you start to drain the engine oil, it's not uncommon for there to be a little bit like splash. So cardboard down, drain pan, pay it your full attention, make sure that everything's safe. What do you remember from oil changes in the past, Erin?
Well, you gotta loosen the sump plug, probably stick the pan underneath.
Both of those are good guesses.
Yeah.
Anything else?
When we loosen the sump plug, we need to maintain pressure until the last minute.
I like that.
And then you gotta take off the old fuel filter, replace it with a new one. What oil filter, I mean. What oil filter are we using?
Now we like to use a Westfill Cooper filtration. Why do we use Westfill? Why does anyone do anything? We have never had a problem with a Westfill filter yet. Okay, now that's like should be a really low bar for failures, but at the same time, it's a bar that needs to exist because I've heard of other brands that have really high failure rates and then really bad warranty policies as well. Westfill is owned by the same company that owns Ryco. Apparently they're slightly different in the construction of the filter. I don't think that's really true. I think that they're all pretty much of a muchness. Now we've got all this apart. So what are some tools that are critical for the oil change on your Elantra, Erin?
You will need a torque wrench.
Yep.
And the claw thing.
The claw, yeah. Sump plug, 17mm torque wrench. If you've got a normal style torque wrench, do not use the torque wrench to undo the sump plug. This is a special torque wrench. Always have a torque wrench, always use it. Always look up the manufacturer's specifications for your sump plug. Okay? Take the sump plug out, put one finger on the back of it and use your other two fingers to turn it. So you want to push in and turn, yeah? When you get to the end, it will like, as you rotate, you'll feel it clicking a little bit. That's your sign to pull it out. If you don't want to spill it all over yourself, pull it out quickly. Get your hand out of the way, pull it out quickly. As soon as the oil is finished draining, put the sump plug back in and torque it, okay? The biggest problem with apprentices, home gamers, DIYs, mechanics in general, is that they take the sump plug out, they pop it back in finger tight, and then they go about and do something else, right? Forgetting to torque it. 1,000 k's down the road, the sump plug works its way out and you're in for a new motor. So as soon as it goes in, torque it, please. I've slackened off the oil filter on this, which just so happens to be up in the front corner. I'm going to let it drain out. Plenty of long threads on this filter. While we're here, I'm also going to check the condition of the... Do I have a rag there, Erin? Must be just there. Yeah. I'm also going to check the ceiling mating surface. Make sure that there's no like excess grime and stuff on there. And I'm going to give it a little wipe if I need to. Make sure that any of the dirty things don't go where the clean things are. i.e., don't let oil and stuff drip onto your nice driveway. Put the oil filter on. And I'm going to give that a little smidgen of a nudge down. I'm going to grab my rag, pop it under this. Why have I put the oil filter in there separate? Because we get them taken off. We get them taken away and responsibly disposed of. And maybe one day in the future we should do a bit of a video about what happens to them after they're taken away. Because I'd like to know as well. So, our oil filter is on, our oil filter is tight, our sump plug is on, our sump plug is tight. I always make sure to clean both off so that I can see if they're leaking again after the service is done. Then we're going to pop up here and pop in some fresh oil. Now, you might think, we're underneath the car already, why don't we just check out everything underneath the car while we're down there? If you're in a workshop, that's pretty easy to do, but being mobile, sometimes you've got to make choices, and I choose, there's particular cars where the oil has to be drained and refilled quite quickly. I'm looking at you, Ford Ranger. So I make a point to do all of my oil stuff in one go to make sure that there's no chance of any hiccups down the line. So I think Erin's car takes about 4 litres of oil. Just ignore the fact that this bottle looks old and nasty. We buy this particular oil in bulk and we reuse the containers. It's a good quality oil, isn't it?
I think so. Do you want to explain a little bit more about the type of oil you use in my car?
Why don't you give it a go this time?
I can never remember. All I know is HPR 10, which we used to put it HPR 5 in it, but then...
Yeah, Penrite updated their recommendations.
Yeah. And is that just a age-related thing, that older cars tolerate different oils better, or...?
More to do with mileage. Right, so fingers clear.
So I know there's more numbers involved that explain like its viscosity and whatnot, but I can never remember anything about.
Yeah, so the basic thing is the viscosity. That's what everyone sort of talks about. Then you've got your additive and wear package. So your anti-soot modifiers, your detergents, your anti-frothing agents. Check out blog post that I'm writing or have just written below for more information. Now, does all that stuff matter, or can you just put in the generic oil of the correct weight for your vehicle? Yeah, of course it matters, especially in newer cars, because they produce really random, not side effects, byproducts. So, especially in Holdens and such, a low soot or a low sludge sort of oil like GF5 from Penrite, very important. Penrite's HPR10 is a 10W50 weight. The W refers to its winter grading, which is a whole other thing unto itself. But it's got a whole bunch of, it's full synthetic, it's pretty thick. The Hyundais run really quiet on it, which I like. It doesn't burn oil, and the oil comes out pretty clean as well, which is very important. So if you're seeing an oil that it gets noisy towards the end of its service life, or it comes out sludgy, that sort of thing, maybe just recheck the specifications that you're meant to be using. If you're not sure what oil you should be using, go and check out the Car podcast and Matt from Auto One at Browns Plains. They've got a whole bunch of systems that help you look up the correct oil for your car. Now, we've started the car. We have checked that the car is running fine. We are now going to recheck that the sump plug and the oil filter are clean, dry, and the correct torque. So that's all good. Pop that out of the way. That's how to replace the engine oil on a Hyundai Elantra. Thanks again. I'm Lachlan from Kashy.